50,000 million or 50 billion. That's just for food hampers. For living costs and emergency equipment, so for a food hamper, living costs, emergency equipment, the survival sum for 500 million people is 150,000 million. So you could even say it's 150 billion a week, every week, for eternity. So any country in the world or any part in the world where you could square it off, because I like the square, I like all shapes, but we're going to put it in the square. Any country or part of the world that has 500 million people, you can have a survival plan and a backup system for food hampers, living costs and emergency equipment is 50,000 million or 50 billion. That's just for food hampers. You times it by 3, gives you 150,000 million, which is 150 billion. So the survival sum for 500 million people is 150 billion a week, every week, for eternity. I have 6 minutes remaining on this. I have to go very, very quickly, and I'll put another one in. The survival sum, again, if there was a place on the world that had 1 billion people, China has 1.3, and India has 1 point something, 1.169 plus. So I'm going to use this as an example. Anywhere in the world where there is 1 billion people, this is the survival sum, just for food. Emergency food hamper, $100 food hamper for 1 billion people, 1,000 million, or we'll say is 1 billion people. So 100 times 1 billion equals 100 billion. So the survival sum just to feed 1 billion people for 1 week, one weekly food hamper, is 100 billion a week, every week, for the future of eternity. You times that by 3, gives you 300 billion. Yeah? 300 billion is the cost for emergency hampers, emergency survival equipment, emergency living costs for 1 billion people. The survival sum and the survival plan is 300 billion a week, every week, for the future of eternity. So for 1 billion people, the survival plan is 300 billion a week, every week. That's to feed 1 billion people. Let me check this. There's 4 minutes remaining. 100 times 1.5 billion people, i.e. 1,500 million. So 100 times 1.5 billion people, that's over the population of China, which is the largest densely populated country on the planet. So it's estimated that China, 1.3 billion people, yeah? We're going to do a safety zone of 1.5 billion people. The survival sum for 1 food hamper for every single person in China, plus i.e. 1.5 billion people, is 150,000 billion. So that is 150 billion. That's just for, so to feed China for 1 week, emergency food hampers is 150 billion a week, every week, for the future of mankind. You times that by 3 as a survival plan. China, if you're watching, the survival plan for China for 1.5 billion people is this: 450 billion a week, every week, 52 weeks a year, for the future of mankind. The survival sum for China, if you're part of the China government or the China budget for emergency aid and emergency backup system, this is the sum. The survival sum, the backup system for 100 food hamper, 100 living costs, and 100 survival equipment, tents and equipment, first aid mobile phones, etc., and water. The total cost for 1.5 billion people is 450 billion a week, $450 billion a week, every week. That's for 1.5 billion people. You can use that for the whole of the West, for Alaska, Canada, America, Central America, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Peru, Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, Brazil, Argentina. All of that on the West adds up to about 800 million people. So you can use this sum as a backup sum. Anything that's over is your reserves, yeah? The survival sum for 2 billion people is this: 100 times 2 billion people equals 200 billion. That's just for food hampers. You times by 3 gives you 600 billion The survival sum for 2 billion people is 600 billion. That's the survival sum. 2 billion people on planet Earth. For the future of eternity, the survival sum to save 2 billion people is 600 billion. Okay? Time is running on this DVD. I'm going to have to put the second part on. This is the first half hour. There's a second part. So we'll leave it at that for the moment. And I'll go into, this is DVD A, and there'll be DVD B. So the survival sum for 2 billion people is, for 100 food hamper is 200 billion. But emergency aid for food hampers, living expenses and survival equipment for 2 billion people anywhere on planet Earth is 600 billion. For the future of mankind. For the future every week. For eternity. This is the mathematics of the human race. I'm a mathematician par excellence. Thank you very much. This is Herbert Hex and ZXI. This is DVD A and there'll be DVD B. This is Project 1X. I'm at Herbert Hex and ZXI. Thank you very much. There's a security tip. You don't have to shake hands just to acknowledge mutual respect. You can just nod or, you know, a wink or whichever. ZXI, Herbert Hexon. Never give up, stay positive. Thank you very much. Right, we're going to do the next part. The DVD's running out on this one. Time's running out on this one, so I'm going to have to use another one. Stay positive, never give up. It's the mathematics for the human race. Thank you very much. This is ZXI 0Z1 and ZXI 0Z2. Thank you.